What does your schedule look like from a day-to-day, week-to-week basis?
Just a few hours of work a week.
Just a few hours a week?
Most people think it's hard, but they're just scared. My mom actually came to visit me, and she was shocked.
Hopefully they won't see this.
This is horribly embarrassing.
I never would have thought that was possible.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jordan Carroll, aka the Remote Job Coach, and we are here today in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and we're going to be exploring how foreigners are living here in Mexico, working remotely, exactly what they're doing for their jobs, and what they think of Mexico and their lifestyle. Some of this stuff is going to surprise you, so let's go.
I'm Michelle Zuzu, and I am from Los Angeles.
Ryan, I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
Karen Stephen, I'm from Aberdeen in Scotland.
Hi, I'm Britt, and I am from Canada.
Lumen Grace from Los Angeles, California.
Hi, I'm Carla and I'm from the Philippines.
My name is Brandon Crooms. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hello, my name is Zoe and I'm from Los Angeles.
My name is Gabe Krebs from Portland, Oregon.
I'm Christy Sullivan and I'm originally from the US, but I'm now a full-time traveler.
Tell me a little bit more about what you do for work that allows you to live in Mexico.
I'm a writer. I write travel content for a Nomad insurance company. I also work as a soul coach, so I help women pretty much to live courageous, colorful lives that they're obsessed with.
I own my own business. Majority of my work I can do from my computer, so I take advantage of that.
I work at a marketing agency as well as consulting, and then of course life coaching and doing in-person women's retreats as well.
I work in remote sales.
A couple years ago, I decided to leave the corporate world and become a full-time traveler.
Currently, I'm supporting a business coach and basically facilitating the whole back end of her business. Everything from her landing pages, her email marketing, community support, and following up with her clients.
I'm a chartered accountant by trade and I work as a virtual CFO for small startup organizations that are maybe like 2 or 3 years old.
I have a managed outsourcing company. We help businesses scale fast and easy with managed remote teams.
I'm a designer. I do anything from graphic design to web design to brand strategy.
I work as a social media manager.
A lot of the people that I talked to today that are working remotely have been living this lifestyle for a long time, but it wasn't always that way. They started somewhere. So let's go back to the beginning journey and let's learn about the process for how it is that some of these people got to where they are today. What was the first time that you were working remotely?
Oh yeah, I think I started traveling and decided to work remotely in 2016. The first place I actually went to was Sydney, Australia, which was pretty ambitious for someone from the Philippines, but it can be done, it is possible. The decision that led to that is I just wanted something else and I wanted to get out of my hometown.
Something like slapped me in the face, and it was a free 5-day virtual assistant training program. I had never heard of virtual assistants before. I didn't know a thing about it, but I said, hey, I've got nothing but time. Let me see what this does. And then it was through that that I discovered that I have so many skill sets that can be beneficial to different business owners and different freelancers, different solopreneurs, that I could actually package and offer and create my own income.
Back in 2016, I created a cleaning company actually that was 100% online. I was in Australia running it from Australia, and it was based in Los Angeles.
The first time that I was able to travel and work and make money, I actually came to Mexico. So we headed over to Cabo. In that space, we were working from our phones and we were working on our laptops and we were still able to create money. We were sitting there and we were thinking, oh my gosh, this is really, really possible for me.
When I started in the corporate world, I have like an accounting background. There was no option really to work remotely. It was just an office job all the time, and I think over the 20 years that I was doing that, I was dying a little bit every day. I started reading like travel blogs, your content that you put out, and I just started to kind of get inspired by what other people were doing. And then a few months into the pandemic, I realized we just have proven on a huge scale that people can work remotely, so this only supports my case. That was when I started the conversation with my boss to be able to just work remotely and keep my job. And then if they said no, then I would have to decide what I was going to do, and it was either going to be take a year off to travel or find another remote job.
I'd been looking for remote work for about a year, like different things, and I found this head of finance job for this really spiritual company in Bali. I started evolving my network within the remote world, and a lot of people were startup founders or small business founders, and they were continually asking me advice. So what I did was kind of elevate my level and branded myself from a head of finance to a virtual CFO because I was doing everything across all of the businesses. And my friends started to hire me, and then they referred me to other people, and then all of a sudden I've got like 5 clients, and I'm working as a virtual CFO.
Remote work is growing all over the world, but a lot of people are choosing to come right here in Mexico. And I'm curious to know from these people why they chose Mexico, and do they even have to speak Spanish to live here?
I am here in Playa del Carmen because I was craving community from my travels. So I had a few friends who were here and decided to pop on over and ground myself, spend 3 months here, and just see what the city has to offer.
I fell in love with the community that's here, a lot of great people. Location-wise, I think it's arguably the most ideal place to call home because it's the same time zone as the US, direct flights all across the US, so it's easy to get back. Also, direct flights all over Latin America and short flights. So for me, spending time here enables me to be able to go to different places as well as enjoy Mexico when I'm here.
I've been, of course, really attracted to tropical areas. However, the Mexico land always seems to bring me back. And I remember actually being in the Quintana Roo area the first time and really thinking this is somewhere that I need to come back to. And a few years later, it ended up becoming my home.
The first time I came here, it just blew my mind. The sunshine, the people, the atmosphere, the energy, and obviously the food. Every single aspect of it just made my heart happy. There's certain places in the world that kind of charge me, and then I'm better in life. Mexico was the first one that I found.
Because it was the same time zone as the US, and I had a much better quality of life here.
Playa del Carmen in particular is very free-flowing and things are really accessible. This location is also really close to the US, has an international airport, so it's easy to get in and out if you want to.
¿Qué tal tu español?
Un poco.
Es mejor cada día. It's a work in progress, and as someone who should have failed high school Spanish, to be able to hold a conversation in Spanish, I never would have thought that was possible.
No? This is horribly embarrassing.
Okay.
I actually never took Spanish in school or anything like that. And coming here, luckily being a part of such a touristy area, everything that I do, I still work in English. My friends are people like you. And so we get to still speak in English. However, I am working on it.
Es mejor que before. I've taken some lessons actually, and it's really improved my Spanish. And I find that getting around here and getting things done is more efficient knowing a bit of Spanish.
Creo que necesito practicar mucho más, pero me encanta hablar en español.
The danger, I think that's number one. Everyone, once they get here, you realize that it's not as dangerous for tourists as they say. I feel totally safe here. I feel safe walking at night, midday, any time of the day, any time of the night. I feel really safe here. I feel like the community, I feel like they want us here, They want us here as long as you're respectful, you do your part here, as far as being with the community. It's a great place.
Depends who you talk to. I mean, of course, there's the older generation that focuses on mainstream media, and you can throw in the cartel and different safety aspects, but I don't find that narrative talked about very much within our generation.
Well, I think one misconception that a lot of people have, and I think it depends where you're at, but I don't think it's as cheap as people maybe think it is. I think that there's ways that you can do that. You can live more affordably, but I guess in our lifestyle, that isn't maybe the way that we want to live. So it's definitely cheaper than what we have been living in the US.
The safety, I think, especially within North America, Canada for sure, they really put this emphasis that Mexico is not safe. I personally find it very safe here. I feel very comfortable here being by myself, being a female. I find that the media just really portrays it to be this kind of place of corruption, this place of danger, this place of unsafety. My mom actually came to visit me a few weeks ago, and she was shocked how actually easy life is, how friendly people are, and everything, because she only knew what she saw in the media before.
When I first started working remotely and traveling, a lot of people around me had misconceptions about what that remote lifestyle was actually like. When I took some time to talk to some of my friends here in Mexico, some of the things that they were saying sounded strangely familiar.
Well, I think most people just generally think it's hard, but they're just scared. They're just scared. If you belong to a country which doesn't have a very strong passport, like me, Philippines, it's easy to just start somewhere where you can get into. If you're from the Philippines, for example, Thailand, it's really easy to get to.
Well, I've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years now, so I think my family finally gets it. But when I first started working remotely and traveling, everyone kind of thought I was on a perpetual vacation, which is actually the opposite. I would say I had a bout of workaholism when I first started, and that's an aspect of remote work that I think people need to realize as well. If you don't have the distinction between your workspace and your living space or your adventure space, sometimes it gets easy to get caught up in the work and you keep doing that extra hour.
That I'm on vacation. That it's just a glorified vacation when it is not. It's really just a chosen lifestyle. People tend to say that I'm so lucky, but what they don't see behind this luck or this lifestyle or maybe some of the Instagram photos is that I've made decisions, I've made choices to be here. I've made sacrifices to be here, and it's all compound decisions to create this lifestyle that suits me, that benefits me, and that actually creates a happiness from deep within. And for me, that's the most important part, is being truly happy.
One of the best things you can do for yourself if you want to start your ideal remote lifestyle is listen and learn from people who have already done it. And that's why I put together this collection of interviews. Now, let's take a moment to get some advice from them on what that first step should be for you.
Well, first of all, traveling to places where there are hotspots and you can meet people that hear their story, be inspired by them. It just blew my mind how many people didn't know it was a possibility. So I think that's the first step, is just trying to meet people in that same stage of life and have those conversations, and you never know what goes from there.
When I first got into my career, my family did not understand it. Even though they had entrepreneurial spirits and they understood that you could do the things and work around, the fields that I was going after was just so beyond their concepts of understanding that they wanted to keep me safe, right? And oftentimes the people that care about us most do. But the most important thing to realize is that you are your own security and you're the person that creates that for yourself. And so if you follow your passions, as everybody wants to say, and I deeply agree with, you also have to be really, really mindful about how to accomplish those things. And it gets to be a beautiful dance of dreaming big and also strategies.
I think personally, and maybe this is just the accountant in me talking, figuring out your finances before you go is really important. So having some runway, having money in the bank, and then having an idea, at least like a solid idea of how you're gonna maintain some income coming in to pay for your lifestyle and the expenses.
Trust yourself. If you want it, go after it. Things will always work. If you are dedicated to it, it's gonna happen. Just trust and put the inspired action together.
Network, build out and reach out to the people that are already doing it. Listen to their stories, hear how they've done it. It will give you inspiration. That's how I got started. Like a bunch of people who were on remote year when I was in Bali traveling. The more people I surrounded myself with who already do it, the more ideas I come up with, the more things that I can see as opportunities for me to build and grow. So I would say as much as possible, which I know can be hard, surrounded naturally by these people, is you have to build it and find them online. And when you find them online, reach out to them about all the different paths that can be chosen, because the more inspiration you get on the different ways to be done, the easier you can find your own way to do it.
Well, I would say put your responsibilities first. Like, I'm not gonna say quit your job and go outside of your country immediately, but know your responsibilities first. I think the important thing is really, again, it boils down to clarity, being really clear, sitting with yourself, taking advantage of some silence where you're not filled with these suggestions from family, the people around you, your spouse, your partner, your friends, because even though they might have the best intentions, they might not have the best advice.
Do it now. Go all in. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be great. No matter what happens, you can always go back. And even if you can't, that's probably good. That you stay here, get your feet planted, move it and shake it, figure some things out. Do it now. Now's the time to do it, for sure.
Really keep an open mind. I think with my lifestyle of traveling, because things are shifting all of the time, you also have to be really flexible and accept when things don't go the way that you planned. Also, if you are someone who decides to go traveling and live somewhere else, I would really consider doing some research on the local markets and the places. I think a lot of people are seeing that there's huge gentrification in a lot of places that people are going to, and a lot of that is attributed to people rolling through with their privileged salaries and privileged jobs and not doing the research prior, and so that impacts everyone around them. So take a second and learn about where you're headed.
I'd say start off just by finding a job that you love. I've met lots of people here where it's, they live the remote lifestyle and, by all accounts, it looks like their life is amazing, and their friends say, oh, you're living the dream, but they're still stressed as hell. So wherever you go, there you are. So if you don't have a job that you love or that you at least like, then doing a remote job isn't going to solve those problems. So I'd say first start by getting a good job that you can at least enjoy and just start there. If that allows you the opportunity to work remotely, then you've got the options to choose a location that you think could be a good fit.
From Los Angeles,
Yes.
all the way out here in Mexico.
Yes.
So tell me.
True.
True story. I hope this works.
I hope it works too.
I'm from the Philippines, just so in case you forgot.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, oh, sorry, we can't do this anymore. Bueno, gracias. Like, bleh.
Hi, I'm Britt, and I am from Canada.
Canada, eh?
Canada, eh?
Scotland, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know what they say.
You're bad at the accent.
I'm really bad at the accent.